I think that I'm live. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I just want to say thank you very, very much for, supporting my channel here. This isn't my full-time job. I just like to create things on the side, so it's so awesome to see such positive feedback. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask during this time. I did get a couple questions beforehand, and if you do ask them, you can win a Motion Tween. Motion Tween is it's a type of animation, basically. I mean, if you Google Motion Tween, you'll see that it's been a term used, but it's a plugin now by Film Impact, and you can apply it to logos, any graphics in Premiere Pro to create animations without having to use keyframes. So I have a demo version here inside of Premiere Pro that I'll show you in a second. But I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me now, and then I will get into some of the questions here. Let's see. Yep, I'm live. Hi, Melroy. How are you? Hi, Dream World. It's really nice to see you guys here. Thanks for tuning in for my impromptu 6K TGIF edition. Awesome. So one of you guys have said to me, one question was the recent update. Like a lot of people have said, the Essential Graphics panel, it's great for certain purposes, but the new update also created some issues, like files were deleted. Ariel Navarro on my Twitter asked, how do you fix this issue of the clips being deleted? Well, there was a recent update that I think was released yesterday that enables you to fix this. And essentially the issue was in the update, the cache folder where your media is, if your project folders were in the same folder as your cache, or in the same folder, project folder, it deleted all of the media files too. So Adobe, they fixed this, but they recommend going forward, don't have your media cache in the same folder as all your other assets. So I hope that makes sense. And there's a blog post that goes over this. I'll actually share this in the chat right now. Cool. Here is the blog post for Ariel. It's for Ariel's question. Okay, so somebody just asked, you can ask a question, Dreamworld, about After Effects. By all means, I'm probably on the beginner to intermediate of After Effects. I've worked with a lot of templates in After Effects, and I know how to set up compositions and do some basic things, but go ahead and ask whatever you like. It doesn't even have to be about the software or anything like that, really. So somebody asked here how to give a fast-forward glitch type animation. So Satadel, I think. Satadel, I actually created 5 free glitch videos. They're actually presets that you can download, and it's on my channel. I think I posted it up as one of the featured videos on my channel if you're a returning subscriber. So you can download those presets. They're created by Motion Array, and Motion Array has some pretty awesome freebies every now and then, and they also have some paid for plugins. But those presets you can attach to your video clips in your timeline, and it creates some awesome effects. The reason why I'm not probably going to demo a whole lot is because I need to upgrade my computer system, and it's actually pretty slow. If you see here in my timeline right now, let me see if I move this out of the way. Let's see here. I'm actually going to close this down here for a second, guys. I'm going to leave this. So Motion Tween is here in my timeline. It's a demo version. As you see, there's some watermarks on the screen, but basically the way it works is you just apply the effect from the effects controls and you search for Film Impact Motion Tween, and you can download the demo right now from filmimpact.net, and you can apply it to the end of a clip here just like any transition. And all I did was under effects controls add about 234 degrees of rotation, and it just rotates the logo out and cross dissolves automatically. So it takes away the keyframing, and you can play around with different things like motion blur, ease in, ease out, movement you can add. So it just creates a fun way for you to create sort of stress-free transitions. I hope that makes sense. Let me go ahead and just pull up the YouTube questions on my phone because it'll slow down my computer here. So just hold on one second, guys. Thanks again for everybody for supporting my channel. If I didn't say that in the beginning, it means a whole lot to me to be able to do this. So I really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and open this up in Safari. I hope this works. Live chat, here we go. Hi, Brett. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see here. Melroy asked Vegas or Premiere Pro. Seriously, I don't know anything about Vegas at all, so I wouldn't be able to give you any feedback there because I've never used it. The only reason why I use Premiere Pro is because in my full-time job, when I first started using this, after I made the switch from Final Cut Pro 7 in about 2013, I think. I know it's kind of sad. I was still using Final Cut Pro 7 because my work didn't have the upgrade yet. So then I was like, okay, let's just try Adobe. And the designers of Final Cut Pro 7 worked on the new updates for Premiere Pro. So it was like so similar. So it was just easy for me to sort of adapt to it. And I know that a lot of people say the same thing. But if you worked in Final Cut Pro 10 for the first time, a lot of people love it because it's like something new and innovative. I don't have anything against Final Cut Pro users at all, the Final Cut Pro 10. Whatever works best for you and like whatever you can use to get your projects done. A lot of times people say, oh, just, you know, you're a Premiere gal, you're just Premiere, you know, but like at the same time, like I do shoots, I film, I have to storyboard. There's a lot more to the creativity than just the platform. So if you have access to Vegas, like try it out. The great thing about Adobe is that they have lots of partners that are working on lots of awesome plugins to make it easy for you. I hope that makes sense. Oh, thanks, Kung Fu Life. It's funny because I've been getting lots of comments from people who say like, oh, I'm straight to the point, I'm super helpful. And then there's other people that are like, oh, that could have been a lot shorter. And I was like, yeah, but sometimes I just like to talk a little bit more, you know. So, I mean, I'm providing free content to you guys, so I try to do the best I can. And I know that I've gotten better at sort of just sharing what is necessary versus like, you know, kind of beating around the bush situation. So doing the best that I can. And again, if you guys have any tutorial requests at all, you know, go to premieregal.com/tutorials and make requests there on stuff that you want to learn. Because a lot of times in these tutorials or these live streams, I can't really cover all of it. So I can only demo certain things. But one person did have a question. Oh, Jerry. Hi, Jerry. How are you? So basically, tracking ability, I believe there is... Under opacity, let me check here real quick. I'm just checking under Premiere Pro here. This is weird. Oh, there we go. So here, I believe, Jerry, if I was gonna go under opacity, and let me know if you can see this, and you create a mask, I believe you can use this to track the mask forward, but I haven't played around with it enough. So if I was gonna change this mask up again, I apologize for it being slow. Live streaming is not the best for demoing unless you have like 64 gigabytes of RAM, and I need to up my game in that department. But basically, if you wanted to animate this mask, you could track it forward based on the movement. I think there's some tutorials out there already on this, but you would just hit this play button here and hopefully that would work. So Dreamworld, I haven't used the puppet tool, but I do know that Character Animator has this puppet feature where it mimics your face, and they also added movements that you can have walking loops. So I wouldn't be able to do a brief tutorial on that Dreamworld just because I'd have to do a little bit more research right now, but I'll definitely put it on my list to do. I will do it right now. So puppet tool, got it. Also, I just released a template on text messages. So it's a Mogert file. If you guys didn't see my video, Mogert, it's such a weird term, but essentially it's a motion graphics template and includes emojis. It's just 99 cents. I posted it. You can customize it inside of Premiere Pro. Basically, I want to try to create more templates that you guys want to make. So you can also leave template requests on my channel if you want to do that too. So whatever you think of, just message me. I'm as responsive as I can be, but hopefully it's something that I can do for you. So yeah, you're welcome, Jerry. No problem. No problem, Dreamworld. I'm trying to figure out what would be the most useful, but it's really good to see what you guys are interested in. What are some other things that I wanted to... Oh, somebody named Judy Rolfe, she messaged me in my she's been asking me about this. A lot of times beginners, they have pretty basic questions on how to do certain things. And a lot of times I just try to make the tutorials that I think that will appeal to a lot of people on my channel. So sometimes I'll make super basic tutorials and other times I'll do more advanced ones. And somebody just asked, oh, what is a mask? Citadel. So basically a mask is essentially you're creating a layer on top of a graphic or your footage so it'll hide part of the logo. So if I was going to move this mask over, you see how it cuts off part of it, you're hiding it. So what you can do with this, and I've showed this a lot in my tutorials, especially in one that I just did on how to create a social media motion graphics template. You can move this and you can see that it's hiding it and then revealing it. And you can keyframe that mask. And a lot of people create custom animations using these masks. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question on what a mask is. The best plugin I use, Ahmed, seriously, the best plugin is probably my Film Impact transitions. Basically, they look like this. They're under video transitions, and I have the full suite of them. So I love the Film Impact Bounce Pack because if I have any lower thirds and I don't have time to do a cool keyframe animation or go into After Effects, I will just literally drag and drop this impact pop or any other of these transitions, and it automatically will create a cool pop effect. Right now it needs to render. Let me see if I can render this real quick. It's rendering. Again, it's probably going to be super slow because of the live stream. We'll see. On your sticker fight video, can we apply that on flag? Dreamworld, can you describe what you mean by on flag? Interesting. Let me take note of that. So what is keyframe? I'm a rookie. So a keyframe. How can I explain it in the most basic terms? So basically, oh, there we go. It just finished rendering. Hold on one second. I'll get to your question. So basically what happened here is that this impact pop, it just animated my logo. Did you guys see that? That all it required on my end was literally to drag and drop that effect. So that is by far like one of my favorite tools to animate anything on screen. And I will get to your question about the keyframes, but I know my friend Judy has been asking about this for a while. Let's say that you have video footage in your timeline. This is again for beginners who don't know how to add a logo in the corner of your footage. So let's say I have this smartphone footage here. I'm just going to drag and drop. Let me just actually take a portion of it here from the source panel. Drag and drop it here. So I have the footage here. Now I want to add just a basic logo in the corner. I'm just going to drag and drop my logo here. And of course I need to scale it down. So I'm going to click on it, then go up to the effects controls. I'm just going to scale it down like so and get it to a size that you like, and then you can reposition it like so. So this is one way of doing it. You can now do it with the new Essential Graphics panel as well, but you can still add graphics to your timeline without using the Essential Graphics panel. So see how I just added that? Judy, I hope that you're watching this or you'll rewatch it because I know that you've been wanting to learn that. So I just dragged it on top of the footage, scaled it down, and moved it into the corner. You can also lower the opacity, so if you want it to be about 90%. See how it's a little bit more translucent there? Let me see if I can increase the size here so you guys can see that. So if I go up here, and you can see that this is what it looks like in the corner. All right? Okay. So somebody asked here, what are your thoughts on the new Premiere Animation update? So Desync, are you talking about the animation update with the motion graphics? Can you ask me, or can you tell me a little bit more about what update you're talking about? I know that a lot of people have had concerns about the fact that the titler tool had so many cool options, like filling your text with images, and also like the objects and the rectangles, you could add drop shadows, and now that capability is gone from the Essential Graphics panel. So those are things that I'm sure Adobe is like thinking about, and they're like, yeah, we need to like update that. But one thing that you may not have noticed in the Essential Graphics panel is that the tools here, there's now the pen tool here, which is directly connected to the Essential Graphics panel. So if I was going to click on this type tool and just like type in this area, it automatically creates a type layer here in the Essential Graphics panel. So if I just type in, there's a little bit of a delay here, it creates that layer, and you don't have to pull up the separate titler tool, which is really cool. So there's that. And over here in the Essential Graphics panel, I hope that you guys can see it. Let me actually just move my face over to the other side. You can see here that you can adjust. I think a lot of you guys have watched my tutorial in the Essential Graphics panel. But the good thing about this is that over here you can keyframe and animate these separate layers. Before in the titler tool, you never had the layers feature. You know, like that was something that we all wanted, just like Photoshop, just like Illustrator. It seemed only natural to have the layers inside of Premiere Pro, and now we got it. So, I mean, I guess that's a positive thing that's come out of this so far. And you can export motion graphics templates from After Effects, just like the live text template, but you can adjust the color, you can adjust the size of shapes, but a lot of expressions are involved. So people that want to do that, I tried to do it, and you need to know expressions. So I need to up my game so I can start making those types of templates for you. But I think I'm going to take a class on it so I can learn it. But I know that Adobe has had a couple tutorials on it so far. So if you want to change the color here, you can do it like that. Or if I want it to be the same color as my logo, I can click on this eyedropper and select the color of my logo here, like that. So it's the exact color. If that did not work, oh, I know why, because the opacity is down. So when you select something in the background here, you want to make sure that you're selecting the solid color. If you've added opacity to this image, it won't take the true color. So I'd have to go back here under my arrow. Okay. And I'd have to change this logo to be exactly 100. So that way it's the true color. And select back on this text layer. There we go, desync. Thanks for answering the keyframe question. I will let you know in just a second. I'll actually show you how to keyframe this text here. So a lot of people were questioning about the alignment tools. So if you align it by using the horizontal center and the vertical center, it automatically centers this text. Does that make sense? Okay, so yes, the Essential Animations tool. So the keyframe, to answer your question, basically if I wanted to add any motion, like I wanted this to animate in screen, I can do that using keyframes, okay? Because you can add custom transitions, right? But the custom transitions don't always have all of the parameters to change, which is why I like the film impact transitions, because it gives you a lot of leeway to make those adjustments, especially with the Motion Tween, which you can get if you've been asking some questions here. So I have this layer selected. If you're over here in the effects controls now, if I wanted to add a basic keyframe, I would go under here to transform, and this is directly affecting this text here on screen. So if I wanted to adjust the position, I can do a basic keyframe. So let's say at this moment here, I want it to appear on screen. So I'm just going to expand this. I'm going to click the toggle animation here. And then I'm going to pull this playhead back to a different location. Again, it's pretty slow right now because of the live stream. Here, I'll do it from the playhead here. All right. Come on, Premiere Pro. Probably not giving the best demo of Premiere Pro right now. I know you asked about Vegas, but it's not Premiere Pro, it's my computer. I need to get more RAM. Somebody give me RAM, please. All right. So come on, keyframe. So I have this keyframe here. I pulled it back. This playhead should move too, but for some reason it's frozen. Again, this is why I like just dragging and dropping those film impact transitions onto the logo in the timeline or any sort of footage, because it improves it. So I created a keyframe here. Now I want to move this keyframe off screen. So now you can see that it's moving off. So now between these two moments, it is changing position from left to right. So if I play it, if I play it back here, that's really weird. It must be because of the, oh, there we go. Yeah, it's happening. It's just being very slow. But yeah, basically you can set keyframes. Oh, there we go. Now you see it. Do you see what's happening right here? It's basically animating in and out. So that's what a keyframe is. It's altering the positionality, the scale, rotation, or any parameters that you can have control over. So sorry that that took a while to do. But basically what I did with this keyframe is just be able to manipulate and customize the position. And you can do the toggle animation feature here to the scale, rotation, opacity, etc. Okay? Let me check out some of the questions here. All right, so you guys have a lot of questions. Okay, let's see here. Pull here. You guys should have some more fun questions, not all technical stuff, you know? Let's see here. Do you store your video files on an external drive? Kurt. Hi, Kurt. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. I store all of my video files on an external drive, except for in this case, when I'm just working on a small project like this, I can probably save it on my desktop if I have space, and then I'll just drag it into the external. It's always good to have a backup system as well if you can afford it. I generally have a big backup system that I save everything to, but I work off of tiny LaCie drives, which are about 2 terabytes or 1 terabyte. I also have a 4 terabyte LaCie. But it's amazing how much cheaper they've gotten. But at the same time, video footage is getting bigger and bigger. So like 4K takes up a lot more space than 1080p. So I would recommend it. I know most video editors do. That's what I was taught when I was, first getting started in editing a few years ago. Ariel, the BBC plugin, I don't know what that is. Can you describe what that is? Sorry, I don't know it. Oh, Boris Continuum Complete. There we go. Actually, I have it on my to-do list right now because I just got the entire suite of Boris effects, and so I'm going to play around with it, but I haven't done it yet. There's so much stuff out there that I just want to try. So Citadel, you're welcome. I'm glad that I was able to explain keyframing a little bit. I'm really sorry about how slow my computer is. I seriously need to get a RAM update. But I'm excited to be live streaming with you guys here. And yeah, let me just take a look at some of your comments here. What is my age? It's all a mystery. You'll never know. You'll never know. Let's just say I've been editing for about almost 13 years. It's been a while. So I think we're all the age we want to be mentally, right? It's funny because I actually was talking with my grandma, and my grandma is, I think, in her very late 80s or early 90s, and she literally said, I look in the mirror and I'm like, ah, because she still feels like she's like 25 years old. You know, it's like one of those things, like you really need to talk to people that are older to be like, you don't really feel different. You just have more experiences and that's it. So the good thing about being a good video editor with lots of experience is that if you've lived life longer, you have more experiences and stories to influence your editing perspective. So especially for writers, if you don't experience things, if you don't go out in the world and actually talk with people and experience things, what your stories aren't going to be that great, you know? So that was a little side note. But yeah. Another 13-year editor. So I'm not sure, Brett, what the 4K was. I'm looking on my phone right now because I'm answering your questions right here. So T3i type of LUT. Okay, so LUTs. Okay, I did a whole tutorial which you should watch on my channel, but essentially a LUT is a lookup table. It's basic math that alters your footage based on these sort of like logarithms, I think, or not logarithm. It's basic, it's just math, okay? And if you open up a LUT file, it's just a bunch of numbers. But if you apply that LUT to all your footage and your footage all looks different, it's not going to solve the problem, right? You'll still have to make custom adjustments to each shot. So LUTs are really designed for log footage, like Blackmagic cinema camera that I've shot with. Everything's very sort of muted and reduced. So then you add the LUT to it and it brings out and it pops the color. But again, like I said, if you're shooting in many different environments, it's going to be challenging to make them all look the same. But there is an exciting update that's coming up, and I'll just like make this bigger unless you guys want me to show Premiere Pro, but I haven't shown it yet. So Cinematch.com, it's being created by the same creators of Film Convert, which are filters you can add to your footage in Premiere Pro. Cinematch, what it's going to do, and I think it's going to be released this November or September, basically it'll help you, it automatically will match different shots to look the same. Okay, so that is huge, and I'm really curious to see what that's going to change in terms of, you know, the Cinematch game. Like, how are people going to match shots? That takes hours and hours of time sometimes, especially if it's a long, you know, film. So definitely check out Cinematch, get on the pre-release and all of that, because it's going to change the game. So looks like people are laughing. It's all good. I want you guys to help each other, because honestly, I started this channel because I felt like I wasn't engaged in everything that was going on. I was keeping up to date with some of the trends, but now I find that when I teach, I learn more too. So when you guys comment and you have better tips for doing certain strategies, like, I learn as well. So if you want to answer people in this chat, like, do it, because I don't mind at all. Question: if you could add one feature to Premiere, what would it be? Okay, Brett, this is a tough one. Jeez. Well, I'll answer two, and one is related to the new feature that was just released with the Essential Graphics. But the first one, before the Essential Graphics came out, was auto transcription built in, because I am a huge believer in accessibility, and the fact that I don't have time to add captions to all my videos, especially this video. It's probably going to be close to an hour long. I don't have the time to go in and make all those auto corrections to the captions. YouTube does this pretty well, but how great would it be if you import your video in here into Premiere Pro and it just automatically transcribes for you, just like YouTube, and you can go in and make some small edits. That would be great, because I don't want to have to spend money for that type of stuff. It's just an added thing that, you know, is in the back of my head, because I feel bad, because, you know, I want to make sure that persons who are deaf or people with hard of hearing can still access the information that I'm giving. So that is one that I would give Brett for sure. I know that there are plugins that are out there that are coming out. There's one called Transcriptive, but you have to pay money for it. I think about $200 is a plugin. So I really wish that Premiere Pro was natively more accessible in that sense. And secondly, for the Essential Graphics panel, I tried making some motion graphics inside of After Effects and import them to use in Premiere Pro, but I found that you couldn't, when you wanted to add some sort of customization feature to be edited in Premiere Pro, it wouldn't allow you to just do like basic scale and position transitions. You have to use expression. So I feel like a lot of people are going to have barriers to actually using that, and they actually overcomplicated it just a little bit. But maybe it's just me not fully understanding how to do it yet, but I talked with some experts and they did say that it is a bit more complicated than it needs to be. I also wish that for this feature here, when you automatically clicked on it, you know, it could, if you double click, you'd be able to add text right away and you wouldn't have to click the T button in Premiere Pro. I just realized I wasn't showing you that screen. Let me just show you that real quick. So one feature that I wish here is when you double click on the text here in the program window, it would just automatically go to the T for the type tool so you could edit it. Right now you actually have to go and hit T. You can add a shortcut for T to go to this title tool, or type tool as they're calling it, but yeah, that's a few features that I had. All right. Salmon said, Gal, I also use your wipe transition. It's really helpful tutorial. Thanks a lot. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you like it. The wipe transition, it was made actually with the older titler tool. It's now Legacy. But then again, I've seen Legacy around for a while. I don't imagine the titler tool disappearing unless the next update, they take everything from the old titler tool and put it in this new Essential Graphics panel. Because right now, a lot of people are like, where's the crawl? Where's the rolling credit feature? You can still access that. By the way, a lot of people ask questions when I did my overview of the Essential Graphics panel. If you click on the panel here, the project panel, sorry, that you need to make sure that that's selected before you hit Command T or Control T to open up the new title tool. And for some reason, it's not coming up. Huh. So yeah, it used to be here to create a new title and it's not there, but that's quite strange. Ah, okay. Maybe they changed that in this update, because I just updated like yesterday. So if you go to File New, you can go to Legacy Title, and this is the old titler tool that I used to make that wipe transition. And I just basically drew out different rectangles. But here's where you can make your old titles. It's not completely gone. So if you go here, you can close the panel. I think here there is, yeah. So this is where you can get the roll crawl options that people were asking about. If you click on this icon here right under this T button, it's called, if I hover over it, it doesn't have a name when you hover over it, but if you click on it, it's roll crawl options. So there's that. The Legacy will be here for a while, so no need to worry about that. Let's see what else you guys have to say. By the way, if you ask questions, you'll be entered into a lottery to win Motion Tween by Film Impact, which I demoed at the beginning here. All right, so let's see. What country do you think I'm from? Can you tell by my accent? Or maybe I'm British all along and you guys didn't know it. I'm just pretending to have an American accent, actually. I do like doing actions quite a lot. So let's see. You guys are funny. You know what? Actually, I think I'm going to read some of the comments that I have on my current YouTube channel here. Let's see. If I go to my comment section, some of you guys have asked questions on my YouTube channel. Let me just make my video bigger here. So I'm just reading some questions that I have here. Basically, you guys have asked some of my, so I just created a new store on my page, and it's on my webpage, premiergal.com/store. And that's where I'm going to be putting any of my freebies or any of the templates that I'm making for sale. And before I had this on my blog, I would say fill out this form, sign up for my newsletter, and then on the page there will be a thank you with a link to download one of the templates. So for the split screen templates, for example, that's how I did it. But a lot of you guys didn't get that the link was going to be on the same page and you were expecting an email. I couldn't quite figure it out with my website limitations how to do it. So that's why going forward, I'm now going to have a store. So I can show that to you right now. If I go to my page, 1 second, premiergal.com/store. Let's see if it loads up here. And let me just make this smaller so you guys can see. All right, it's loading up here. Also, I forgot to mention the post-production world. I went to post-production world at NAB show and I did a whole live stream there. If you guys haven't watched them, you should check it out. I basically feature a bunch of new products that were on the show floor. But as you see in this banner here, the post-production world is having an online event June 1st through the 3rd. And basically everything that you missed in person, you can access online. And basically all of the trainings will be available for, I think, up to 45 days afterwards. So of course you still have to pay, but you can get 10% off with my code GAL17, which is right here. But here on my store, I have a 99 cents template for the text message. It's a motion graphics template. You need to have 2017 or above. I also have another Mogert here that's a freebie. So I'm going to be putting most of my freebies on my store. I've also created this like end screen template for YouTube and a photography template. You can also get some t-shirts and keychains and stuff like that. But I'm going to have this feature here where you can make a template request coming very soon. Let me know if you guys actually want that. You know, that's something that I've been thinking about for a while, as I thought it would be something useful. If you guys need something, I might as well be making something that you want versus, you know, something that I just think is cool. So keep me posted on that. 'Tis how I saw you the first time. Desync, I think that's how you say it. What do you mean by the first time? Catherine. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Judy. Wait, Judy, what link are you talking about? I just did it for you, the logo. I just realized I was like stepping off the wrong side of screen here. Let's see. My legacy text window doesn't work for me. I go to menu and it does nothing. Shortcut doesn't do anything either. Hi, Curious. So let me just see if I can troubleshoot this with you. So I updated as well recently because there was a bug fix. It's not in the menu where you go down here. You actually go up to File and you go to New and you select Legacy Title. Does that make sense? So Curious, don't go to the menu item in the project panel. You have to go up to File and you have to go to New Legacy Title if you want to use the old legacy title. Brett, that's awesome. And also, I forgot to mention, Brett is actually one of my patrons. So basically, you can go and you can support me for all of the tutorials that I do online. And you can pledge $5 or more each month and you can get freebies. And I think this month I already posted 2 freebies. So you don't have to pay if I post something that costs money in my store. You get those for free. And also it's just a way to give me like a tip for some of the stuff that I've been teaching, kind of like getting a coffee and stuff like that. It's not a whole lot, but again, like I really want to hopefully continue growing this channel. And right now I have a full-time job, so I'm not able to dedicate as much time as I'd like. Like right now I'm on my lunch break right now. So, but I do love my full-time job because it gives me a lot of ideas for tutorial ideas that I can make for you, because I'm actually creating content. I'm just not doing tutorials. Also, oh, you're welcome, Curious. I saw somebody post something, but oh yeah, so Catherine, sorry I didn't respond to you right away. What is your favorite Adobe program besides Premiere? So obviously Premiere I work in all the time, but I would say either After Effects or I really like Illustrator. I'm still learning it, but I really love the fact that it's such a powerful design tool, and you can create vector graphics, and it works really well with the other Adobe platforms. So After Effects, and then probably Illustrator as well. I also really like Behance.net, if you guys heard of Behance. Basically, it's like LinkedIn, but for creatives. So it's actually owned by Adobe, and you can actually put up all of your, artwork, all of your videos, and people can appreciate it and like it. And it's a way for you to actually post a reel and all of your favorite content. So if you're looking for a job, you can share that link on your resume. I would say that Behance is basically like a digital resume for creatives, because ultimately, I think now, especially for people in the creative field, the employers don't really care about your education. They care about your portfolio. But if you did get a good education and you created lots of awesome projects, that's great. So if you do go the education route like I did, just make sure that you're able to visually show what you learned through that process and make it accessible to people to understand. And rather than doing a bunch of random projects, maybe try to show your style over time. And sometimes you just have to be patient. Maybe you don't know what your style is right away. I think I'm still developing my own style as well. So just try to have patience. Life is a journey, So that's what I try to think about at least when I get frustrated. So yeah. Please give away some pizzas. You guys are crazy. I love that. Oh my gosh. You know what? Honestly, if you're gonna engage with my videos and give it a dislike, that's actually good, because you're engaging with my content. YouTube actually treats a thumbs up and a dislike. I mean, this is what I've heard from other YouTubers, but at first I was like kind of bummed out when I was first starting. I was like, why did people dislike my video? But haters gonna hate, lovers gonna love. What can you do? And like, that's just how it is. And maybe some people just didn't find it useful, so they gave me a dislike. But that's what happens when you go into the public space. You know what I mean? So, but I appreciate you looking out for me. I appreciate that. Let's see. Followed on Twitter after the NIV stream. Looked up tutorial for new Premiere animation. Saw you made some more videos. Okay. Your tutorials have been crazy. Badass shirts. Biz, do you like this shirt? Do what I want. Do what I want. TGIF, right? Oh, good stuff here, guys. I'm really excited. So, just quick question for you guys, and I'm probably going to have to get off of this stream before the hour's up. I try to just keep it in an hour, but what tutorials do you guys want next? Like, do you want color correction? Do you want something that's not on Premiere? Maybe like intro to After Effects or something like that. These are just some ideas that I have. Let me pull up my video here real quick, and I'm going to look at some other comments that I have here just to get some ideas. People are so funny. A lot of people were like, I just updated and I'm freaking lost. I'm not going to swear on my channel, but you can imagine what F word they actually used. some people have really gone on some big rants about this update. And like it's funny because so many people gave so much hate to the titler tool, like saying, "Oh, it's so horrible, like why isn't it like Photoshop, you know, blah blah blah." And now they're like moving in that direction, then people are complaining again. So it's like I see both sides. I really do, because I'm not employed by Adobe. I'm just a user of the product. So I just try to be the balancing act, be like, look, like we're able to create all this awesome content with the platforms. Sometimes it's a process, you know. Software development is not an easy thing. But other people, they just wrote, this single edition of Essential Graphics Panel with the template for both Premiere and After Effects has to be the best single upgrades ever. It will really speed up workflow. Plus, being able to do high-level After Effects will save us time in Premiere. So you get people that like that. So let's see what else people have said. People do hate change, Brett. It's so true. I mean, I think it's one of those things where, like, no matter what, even though we live like in a constant society where things are changing and technology is changing, if Facebook like redesigns something, people are like, what is going on? And especially, I don't know if you guys remember, like Instagram logo. Like I went on my own rant about that because I was like, why redesign when everybody loves that logo? And like there was that meme going around where it was this guy at the computer and he was like at this old like Apple computer from like 1990 and he was playing with like paint or something, and he was like, oh yeah, and just clicking buttons and like the gradients were going, and then at the bottom it says the new Instagram logo. So it's super simplified, but you know, a lot of research probably went into that. Probably not the best decision, I don't know, but when you're looking at your mobile phone and you see that bright icon, your eyes go to it. So maybe it was about sort of the fact that people have so many apps now. How can your app stand out? That's how I thought about it. I know it's not like video related, but if you're creating videos, have the same sort of approach like with thumbnails, right? What can you do to draw in eyes to your thumbnail? Like maybe you don't need all that text. Maybe you just need a photo of you doing like a funny expression and the title can have the information. So these are just things to think about. If you guys want a design episode, I can get my friend Megan back on with me. She's an awesome graphics designer, and we can sort of talk about these approaches. So let's see here. Motion tracking and After Effects. I did one on this already, but it requires a plugin. It's called Fayin by Faytech, but you should check it out. The sticker one that I did, remember? Like somebody ran up sticker on my chest, and I motion tracked it to this area as I was walking. Also, to the sides of buildings, I did a tutorial on that. Yes, tutorials on. Because I do more. Okay. So Biz has a hard time editing footage that's shot inside with crappy lighting, but because I do more documentary style, I can't control the lighting all the time. So I feel you. This is why you should definitely sign up for cinematch.com. I was talking about this in the beginning, but basically it'll allow you to create the same look across multiple different scenes that look differently. On my NIB show, the very first live stream that I did, I talked with Film Convert, who is creating Cinematch, sorry. It's CINE match.com. So right now, unfortunately, I don't know any tools that can fix this all the time, but I think that people do appreciate the fact that if you're at least on a low budget documentary, that things do look different because change happens. As long as the story is good, I think that people will be interested in watching. So I've watched some documentaries where it's like on a lower end budget, but I still found it engaging. As long as you're telling the story well and you're using the right editing techniques like sound bridges, cinema verite. I don't know if you know about cinema verite and documentary filmmaking, but it's essentially, rather than like the sit down interview with people, basically you're going in and you're having people show them your life, or you're having the people show their life to you as a documentary filmmaker. So have them like pick up objects and talk about them. That's like the most interesting interview versus somebody just sort of sitting there, unless you have really good B-roll to then cut to. So I think it's okay. Just, you know, you're gonna have to go in and really play around with the Lumetri color panel and make your tweaks along the timeline. But that's all the advice I have right now. Okay. Oh my gosh. Hello from Greece. Hello, Greece. I just had some, do you pronounce it gyro, or gyro? I had one from a Mediterranean food truck the other day and it was so good. I really, really love Greek food. Just saying. Let's see. So yeah, it looks like you guys want color correction, you want After Effects, you want some lower thirds. I can do all of that for you guys. All right, Desync, here's a YouTuber question. Do you have any thoughts on the apocalypse? Oh my god. I think that the apocalypse has been on the schedule for many times and it just never happened. So I think that as humans, you're always thinking about this stuff because it's such a part of our culture. It's in our movies. People talk about it all the time. A lot of paranoid people, I would say. But, you know, I think that I believe in humanity. I'm just going to say that. Leave it at that. But with that, you guys, I think that I need to get off here because I actually need to eat some food and my lunch break is over and I have to get back to some of my client videos. But yeah, I'm super excited about this channel. Keep sharing it with people. Leave tutorial requests. Go to patreon.com/premiergal and become a patron there and you can get freebies from me each month. And check out some of my latest stuff in my store, you know. Do you guys have any other Do you guys have any other questions? Hello from France. Hello from Atlanta. You are leaving. Goodbye, Apratim. Jane. I'm not quite sure how to say that. Copy the ice bucket. So, non-related to video, it's not an ice bucket. I just like those buckets. I like the style of them. It's good for, you know, icing drinks and just for decor. That's it. For storage. Rather than like a box. So, there you go. I'll leave you with that. Okay? Bye. Scoop Scene, what was your question? Did I miss it? I'm really sorry if I missed it. I have to find it. I'll answer it before we go. Oh. I have a problem with the new update of Premiere. The fonts templates is download. It just says 40. Okay, so Scoop Scene, you need to wait. Like, sometimes it's a problem. Like, when you drag and drop the motion graphics template into the timeline, it will take sometimes a couple minutes to do. It just depends on the motion graphics template. So just drag and drop it, wait, maybe go away from the computer for a second, and hopefully it'll download. But let me know if the problem is still happening. Sorry that I missed your question above, but hopefully that answers your question. So if not, message me on Facebook, leave a comment on the YouTube video, and I'll try to get back to it as soon as I can. So thanks so much, you guys, and I will see you guys next week on my channel. All right, bye. Let's stop it.